Last episode, we covered shortage woes in silicon production, Cyberpunk first looks, Apple Audio, and astronomic blunders. We have updates on those segments, so take 5 to get caught up with this link here. Today, we're diving back into controversies that have bubbled up this year. Whether that's in gaming, the environment, or online prejudice, you'll see. So, let's fire up the dashboard. While Cyberpunk players were wondering if they'd get their money's worth, some are fighting to get their money back. CD Projekt Red are accused of misleading customers. While throwing out visuals and play scenes from other consoles, they withheld demos of the PS4 and Xbox One. Customers using PlayStation Store or Xbox Live were told they could get a refund, an offer that CDPR broadcasted without asking Microsoft or Sony. After many reports of denied refund requests, Sony responded that its refund policy excludes cases where the game has already been downloaded and played. Now they're urging players to be patient and hang tight for a functional game in 2021. If they have any grievances, customers should take them right to the creators to get compensation for compatibility issues. To make this easier for players, they've created a specific email hotline. Get a pen. It's helpmerefund@cdprojectred.com.
Wow, savage.
Shameless. Despite constitutional challenges, the Canadian government is extending their regulations for the Greenhouse Gas Pollution Pricing Act, GGPPA. No one calls it that. This carbon pricing law initially excluded provinces that already implemented their own specific scheme, as long as they met federal requirements. Essentially, provinces had to figure out numbers that crunched, or the federal government would do it for them. The carbon tax on fuel starts at $20 per ton of CO2 and will rise to $50 by 2022. The government recently announced their plan to carry on this program through to 2030. Does that mean the $10 per ton increase will continue to go up from 2023 to 2030? Don't fool yourself. It will actually go up $15 in this new proposed timeframe.
I pity the fool.
If my math is correct,
Not your strong suit.
by 2030, we will be paying $170 per ton of CO2, which is one of the priciest by global standards. Now, this isn't set in stone, and the government is open to adjustments, especially when it comes to imports and exports. What I want to know is where this money is going. Apparently, it's redistributed, 90% going to individuals and 10% going to institutions like hospitals and businesses. These payments are scaled based on personal income or company revenue. The government estimates that roughly 80% of households will receive more than they paid. If you already have a low carbon footprint, theoretically, you should see less in increased costs and still receive government rebates. On the industry side, the government has set up a cap and trade system where companies are given emission limits, but assigned permits can be traded. So if you're under your carbon quota for the year, you could still sell your leftovers to the competitors. There are other ways companies can distribute their emissions, like capturing CO2 from smokestacks or ambient air and injecting it underground. Talk about smoke and mirrors.
New dad joke of the year.
Schmoker. The 2030 goal is to lower carbon emissions to 30% below their 2005 levels. This is not a standalone initiative, though. There's been a $15 billion budget allocated for home energy improvements and subsidies for electric vehicles. For provinces like BC that have long proposed their own numbers, they won't necessarily be overwritten, but we can expect some adjustments sooner rather than later. Well, it's settled. They settled. In the largest discrimination lawsuit of its type, Pinterest agreed to a $22.5 million payout to former COO who claimed her dismissal was due to gender discrimination. During prep for their 2019 IPO, she was made aware that her salary was significantly lower than C-suite male counterparts. After bringing this to the attention of the CEO, she claimed she was deliberately and systematically excluded from executive communications and meetings. Being left in the dark meant she was unable to competently perform her tasks. Pinterest didn't admit any fault, but settled anyways for $20 million.
When money does the talking.
On top of that, the company will donate $2.5 million towards organizations that advance women and underrepresented populations in the tech industry workforce. From a public standpoint, Pinterest claims they recognize the importance of fostering a diverse workplace environment, but realistically, it's cheaper for them to preserve their company's worth and pay the settlement than it is to fight it publicly. We'll never truly know, but the COO's discrimination claims aren't unique. Two former policy directors shared their experience of this hostile work environment, prompting Pinterest investors to file a shareholder suit. In it, they alleged top officials disregarded discriminatory actions and knowingly enforced regulatory measures on those who oppose their leadership, which for their purpose harms the company's public image and stock value. These added pressures amounted to the settlement. In the wise words of Wu-Tang, CREAM. Cream.
Great TED Talk, Jenna.
Last week, we talked about Apple's entrance into the over-the-ear audio market with their AirPods Max. Consumers want to see how these units stack up against tried-and-true favorites like the Bose noise-canceling Headphone 700 and the Sony XM4s, recently dubbed the best headphones of 2020. Thanks to their purchase of Beats and acoustic experimentation with the HomePod and HomePod Mini, we assume they've picked up a few things. Apple fans are loyal customers, but they're not complete sheep. Given the price point and target market, Apple should temper their expectations accordingly.
They're sold out everywhere, though.
It's a big investment. Fence sitting, though, it's fine because stock on the Apple Store for these units is almost sold out until next year. So here's what we've heard. Let's start with price. Apple is luxury tech, but they're coming into this market roughly $200 above the competition, and we're wondering what specs justify this price leap. Then again, I have never bought an Apple product because they're cheap. The AirPods Max are clean-looking stainless steel with comfortable knit mesh headbands for pressureless weight distribution. The ear cups are memory foam, and the headband has telescopic arms for customization, and you can talk to Siri all you want.
Or don't want.
The other button switches you between transparency mode and active noise cancellation. Both Sony and Bose are lightweight, sleek designs, albeit they only come in shades not sky blue. Given all these three brands are comfy and cool, it's unclear what this extra $200 of oomph is. Using multiple microphones to provide non-pressurized noise cancellation, Bose had the upper hand for a while, but Apple is doing its best to replicate this experience for a barely there feeling. The difference may boil down to the smart features and compatibility with pure Apple setups. The automatic switching feature enables users to switch between iPads, iPhones, and Macs seamlessly for music and calls. Audio can be shared between all other Apple devices, including an Apple TV 4K. You can use these units for Android too, but you lose the Apple Purist functionality. Are you guys buying the AirPods Max? Did you already? Let me know in the comments below. Now over to Oculus, who is, shall we say, not ending this year on a high note. To address criticism received for their original Oculus, O2 designers offered add-ons like the Elite strap for $50 and the battery case for $130. Their hope was that these accessories would make this unit more wearable, especially for long-term play. Fast forward to recent reports that these Elite straps had snapped. Facebook paused orders, sent out options for customers until they could promise processing consistency. Apparently, this was an isolated incident affecting just the first few batches. Shipping has now resumed and a 2-year warranty still stands.
They'll snap back.
But the troubles haven't stopped there. Germany announced it was proceeding with formal abuse complaints against Facebook for its controversial policy requiring new Oculus users to use a Facebook sign-in. The Bundeskartellamt.
Oh, bless you.
Right? The Federal Cartel Office is charged with regulating national competition and is investigating the linkage between Oculus virtual reality products, the social network, and Facebook platform. Essentially, each country has their own legalities surrounding privacy and sovereignty, and with all these new hybrid products and multinational technology companies, countries are trying to navigate where their state laws have precedent. Simply put, do corporate privacy laws wield more power than state government?
Here, here.
Germany has some say, though, as Europe's largest economy, and it's not the first time they've imposed restrictions on Facebook regarding collection usage of user data. As it stands, customers cannot directly buy Oculus and have to rely on neighboring countries to import them. The US Federal Trade Commission has caught on too, filing a similar lawsuit against the collection and monopolization of personal social networking. Obviously, it's way too early to tell what this could mean, but it could mean that Facebook will have to adjust its privacy policies, not only depending on pre-existing national policy laws, but also separately in its larger social networking properties, such as Instagram and WhatsApp. On that note, thanks to everyone who entered to win our code RED. Keep your eyes peeled on our channel because very, very soon we will reveal our winner. Our prize for the year is one AMD Ryzen 5000 custom workstation. We appreciate everyone who took the time and stayed plugged in. Never miss an update. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social, and check out our product lineup at monolithgroup.ca. I'm Jana, this is Dashboard, and we'll see you soon.